So welcome to our video on reversing around a corner. So in this video we're going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to reverse around a corner. We're going to show you what the examiner's looking for so you can pass your driving test. We're going to look at some of the bits that could go wrong and how to put those right when you're doing this, whether it's on your test or in real life. So by doing this and by practicing yourselves reversing around corners as often as you can, you're going to develop a really good skill. And you're going to be able to reverse around a corner safely to turn a car around, and that's a great skill to have. This channel is called Chimp on Cars, and we've got some videos that are going to help you to pass your driving test, develop some skills for after your driving test, and a few more videos along those lines too. So if you haven't already done so, do subscribe to the channel and you'll keep up to date. Check the little bell and you'll get a notification when a new video comes live. And this video itself, drop us a comment below if you've got any questions on some of the techniques that I've used. If you've got any questions about how part of it relates to a driving test, for example, then do ask the question. I will get to you and I will answer. And this video, if you do like the video, then obviously hit the thumbs up, click that you've liked it, and that way YouTube will show it to more people, and more people will benefit from it. If you like it, then I'm sure they will too. So let's get on with how to reverse around a corner. Right, so you can see here that the examiner on your test will ask you to pull over and stop just before a junction. This is to allow you to be told what you're going to be doing. You're going to be pulling past the junction, stopping, and then reversing around the corner. That's the information they're going to give you. So you simply check your blind spot, of course, pull away if it's safety, and then proceed past the junction, pulling up safe alongside the curb in the normal way. Maybe not too close to it. You don't want to be too parked. You definitely don't want to be brushing the curb. So here you can see that we just simply start the manoeuvre with some observations around. We'll cover those a little bit more in a second. And then you just reverse around the corner, keeping reasonably close to the curb. That's the instruction that the examiner will have given you. And of course, if you're doing this in real life, you'll get to about where you are now in the picture, and that'll be far enough and you to look both ways and drive out the other way. But of course, on your driving test, they wish for you to just proceed back a little bit further, just to keep the car going back, straightening up alongside the curb, as you can see happening there. And then we're just going back to a safe distance back, a distance where you can comfortably stop the car and receive further instructions from the examiner about what's going on next on your driving test. So begin with a blind spot check, looking predominantly out the back window and looking all around us. We need to see any traffic, any pedestrians approaching us from any direction here, because we may well need to stop for them. So observations when you're doing your manoeuvre are a really key part. The examiner will be watching you very carefully, and it's there because we need to be keeping ourselves safe. So you can see me looking out of both the front side windows and the back window, little glasses in the mirror too. Now here we're straightening up, so it's really important that we do check where the curb is in the back window and in the mirror too. And then we can be looking predominantly backwards because we're going backwards still. If any traffic approaches us from behind or anyone crosses the road behind, we need to be able to see them. We need to be able to deal with them. And any traffic coming from the front, also, we will need to stop the car, so we're looking out for that too. Okay, so now let's look at what we would do if a car approached us from behind. So we're looking predominantly out the back window when we're going backwards. If we're going to see a car coming up behind us, we're going to have to stop and give them the opportunity to go around us. But if they don't go around us, we're going to have to pull out and start again. So let's see that in action. So they're going to see our brake lights come on. They're going to see us change out of reverse gear by reverse lights disappearing. If they've still not gone around, we're going to have to check our blind spot, pull forwards and deal with the junctions. We're going to indicate left, look both ways and pull back out and start again. Now, of course, if they drive past us before we get back out and start again, we can easily just stop, go back into reverse and continue on with the manoeuvre. But if they let us start again, we're going to have to start again afresh. Okay, so as promised, we need to look at what we do if things go a little bit wrong whilst we're trying to reverse around a corner. So on this occasion, we're going to look at what we do if we get a little bit too wide as we reverse around the corner. You can see we've not started moving yet. You can see traffic approaching us from behind. There's even a van approaching from in front. So clearly for these, we just need to stay where we are. We don't want to be moving as they try and go past us, of course. That would be very unsafe, so we just keep ourselves stationary. You see another car coming from behind, letting them go through too. And then we check the blind spot, begin the manoeuvre. So importance of keeping observations for not just out the back window, but outside windows too. You can see there is another car coming down the road and we're having to stop for that too. And that's absolutely fine, whether they turn into the road or they go past us. We just want to be stationary as they do that. So if we end up a little bit too wide going around a corner, it's absolutely fine, it's not a problem. If we steer a little bit too late or don't quite steer enough, it's going to happen. So we just need to recognise that, keep to the correct side of the road by shunting forwards, still keeping to the correct side of the road, looking left and right of course, only doing this if it's safe to do so, and then back into reverse gear. And then we can just simply reverse back into the side road. If we needed another shunt forward because we hadn't quite got it sorted out with one, then that's fine. As long as we're looking around, we're only shunt forwards if it's safe to, and we keep to the correct side of the road, we can do that. And it's quite safe and acceptable to take a shunt forward if that's what's required if we get too close to a kerb too. So the final thing that might go wrong is you might get too close to a kerb. We definitely don't want to go up a kerb, that would be dangerous. We need to keep all four of our wheels on the road surface. Curbs are for pedestrians. So you can see here if we steer too soon or if we steer too much, we're steering too much on this occasion, we need to recognise that before we go up the kerb and stop the car. Then we can look both ways, and if it's safe to, we can take a little shunt forward, heading back in the direction that we just came from. Helps us to straighten the car out a little. There you go, just a little one will do there. Even though there's a red car coming from the left, they've kept to their side of the road, we've kept to ours. Everyone's perfectly safe. And then we can just continue reversing around the corner. Now maybe we might need a second or even a third shunt forward. That's fine, it's acceptable. As long as we're taking effective observations and we don't get in anybody's way, then we can take a couple of shunts forward if that's what's needed. So don't forget to give us a like if you've liked what you've seen here, and get yourselves out there, get practicing. The more often you reverse around a corner, the easier you will find it. And if you choose somewhere safe and quiet to do this, the better you will get at reversing around corners.